Hi everyone, Tabitha Roach here with Usborne Books and More. Let's talk about storybook collections. I've been a book lady for over 11 years now, and I definitely noticed a long time ago, not only with my own children, but also with families that I help build their libraries, that storybook collections, there's just something extra magical about them, and as we're raising readers, our job is to keep that interest in reading alive, and storybook collections definitely help with that because they bring in that extra layer of special and magic to the books that the children are receiving. Kids just love them. So I want to share with you some of my favorites. Some are new and some will just be new to you. We have coming in fall of 2015, I believe in September, a storybook collection or picture book collection. I am so excited about this because I love our Usborne picture books. The artwork in them is just beautiful. Many of our wonderful classics like Beauty and the Beast, Frog Prince, Pinocchio, so many others. There's going to be a case of 20 picture books. They will be in paperback, but you'll get all 20 of them, and I believe it's going to be $69.99. Amazing. It's really a small library in and of itself. That will be a wonderful gift idea or just a great thing to bring into your own home library. With that same series, we currently do have stories for boys, stories for girls, stories around the world, and stories for little children. And each contains 5 of our beautiful picture books and the padded hardcover and the ribbon bookmark. So these are very special books as well that you might want to add. Another new collection that we are building on are our beautiful treasure storybooks. And you can't really see it, but you need to feel it. Beautiful linen hardcover books that just are something special for a family library. We have children's Bible stories, and we have fairy tales. You can see they have the ribbon bookmark as well, and beautiful illustrations. We have fairy tales, we have the Bible stories, and now we have nursery rhymes, which I'm so excited to get. Another fairly new collection is our Shakespeare collection, and I love having this in our home library, and I love when people add it to theirs because children are going to come across the Shakespeare plays, and this is a really great way to introduce them to the plays in a more digestible format. It comes with 5 of the books, and you can see beautiful illustrations, of course, but they're abridged versions, so they are more easily understood and also, again, more digestible. But such a great way to introduce some really great classics to your children at a young age. And on that note, if you've ever heard me talk about the books, you probably already know what my absolute #1 favorite Usborne series is, and that is our illustrated storybooks. Our family has many of them. We have even more than that, and they've just always been very special books. I have wonderful memories. My kids have wonderful memories through the years with them. And some of the new ones, 365 illustrated stories and rhymes. It's just full of stories and rhymes. I mean, 365 of them. Again, this is like its own library in one book with the ribbon bookmark, and they're always beautifully bound with the padded hardcover. Illustrated Classics for Children is a great choice as well, as it has some of my favorites in it. Railway Children, Canterville Ghost, Wizard of Oz, Black Beauty, Secret Garden, Around the World in 80 Days, Heidi, and Moonfleet. And these, of course, are the abridged versions of those classics. Just what a gift to introduce those to your kids at such a young age. I love that my children know the base story of wonderful literature like Great Expectations. It's amazing. So our two newest in the illustrated storybooks, illustrated adventure stories. This is great for all kids, but really great also for maybe those struggling readers that are a little bit older, where there's plenty of text here so it doesn't feel like a very young book, but it will build their reading skills, but there's also great illustrations to make it a little less intimidating. And Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. I didn't actually really know how many of the brilliant fairy tales are written by Hans Christian Andersen. So I love that we have an illustrated storybook. Stories like The Princess and the Pea, Emperor's New Clothes, Thumbelina, Ugly Duckling, Little Mermaid, Emperor and the Nightingale, Brave Tin Soldier is one of my favorites, and several others. Love having that. Finally, in the illustrated storybooks, we now have illustrated originals. These are the full, unabridged versions of the stories. They are the originals with an occasional illustration. And just having them in this format, honestly, makes them more digestible as well. Love that Usborne gives families an opportunity to read these great classics in their full version together. Wizard of Oz is an absolutely brilliant book, so much better than the movie. And the newest in this series that will be released in fall of 2015 is Little Women. So excited about that. Okay, so many of you are familiar with our very first reading series, which is our collection of books to teach children how to read. We also have a next step series called First Reading Series, and it contains 10 books like these with a hardcover, and they have 4 different levels. I have 2 of them here. So they do continue to increase in challenging them and helping them to grow their reading skills. Here are 2 of my favorites that are in the series. Dinosaur Who Lost His Roar is probably my favorite. It is such a great book. All the little boys and girls are going to love this story. Lots of great repetition and predictability. Very entertaining. And some great vocabulary in there to continue building their reading skills. So if you have the very first reading set and your child has accomplished that and can read all of those books, definitely consider the first reading series because that will continue to help build their phonetic skills and strengthen that foundation so they can grow to great heights. Finally, I want to leave you with just an amazing Usborne classic that was really our first experience of a true Usborne collection of stories that was such a treasure for our family. And that is the complete book of Farmyard Tales. It is 20 stories about Poppy and Sam. They live on Apple Tree Farm with Mrs. Boot the farmer and Rusty the dog and Curly the pig and Woolly the sheep. And it's 20, I believe, stories of their adventures on Apple Tree Farm. It also features, it has the ribbon bookmark, which is very special to kids. You probably saw it has the storytelling CD. It's not a page-turning CD that you read along with. It's actually a storytelling CD, which I love because it's another way to read aloud to children. Pop it in the car. Very relaxing and entertaining CD for the kids to hear their favorite stories. It also has a little yellow duck hiding on every page. Can you spot the duck on each page? There's one. And finally, it features dual level text. Short, simple text at the top and more detailed text at the bottom. This is great if you have a very young child and they have a very low attention span. You can just read the top and the story makes sense. And then you can move on and bring in more detail when they're ready to sit and listen to that. But also for early readers, they can read the top and you can read the bottom and read that together. It's a good version of shared reading. I hope you enjoy those treasures. Happy reading, everyone.